before we get into kind of the live performance, kind of, talking about the album a little bit more, what are some personal highlights on that record? Because it feels like it's a record of moments. There's all these little instances that kind of jump out. And as you're listening to it, I kind of always have this like, oh shit meter in my head where like I'll listen to something while I'm doing other stuff. And if something kind of catches my attention, I'll kind of turn to it and think like, oh, what song is that? Or where am I in this song? What are some of the aspects, some of the elements of the album that really stand out to you guys as something that you're especially proud of?
Well, I really am proud of the way the vocals came out on Clear Head. I think that that the counter melodies and some of the background vocals, at the end there's this like soaring kind of like melody and like the kind of like there's like 14 of me like singing and it's coming in at different parts and stuff like that. And I think that really came out really cool, and I'm really proud of that one.
You should be.
I would say in that same song, there's the little mini bridge thing before the last chorus, that little whatever D minor to E minor thing, and you have that little solo. I think that's it's like a probably, I would say maybe the best song on the album, like debatable, really, but that's like a high point of the best song. It's the best part of the best song, so it's like that little thing there.
Climax moment there with the vocals coming back in after the guitar solo. Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, it's interesting because, we've done 4 press releases, including the album. And I kind of got the vibe that like Clear Head was something that you guys were most proud of. That was something that kind of defined the band, and we kind of positioned it as the 3rd single before the album. And that's kind of where you show your nuts a little bit, like you just kind of like show who you are and like this is what this band is.
Yeah, if those vocal takes, like it was all Chip, for that song.
The piano intro as well is classic.
It's just it's a tasty, simple song, and the vocals soar. It's to me a single, if you will. Like if you had to put in a description or whatever in a dictionary, it's like the best vocal performance on a record. Like that's what people really attach themselves to, is the vocals. Then it's the guitars and whatever the whatever you want the totem pole of music you want to do. But overall, if you can't sing it, no one's gonna like it. And I feel like that's a very singable tune. And again, his actual performance, his actual takes are top shelf.
And I think like the piano too, like because we had that extra time, we actually ditched the just like electronic piano, and we actually found an actual acoustic piano. So we took the time to like lay that on and get rid of like, and
tuned.
I think it's not underrated how much better that sounds than if it was like that super clean, like someone did this in there.
I think the original take
table,
was what was it, Vanessa Carlton?
Making my way downtown.
Yeah, we used to sing that all the time.
It was a great, that was a great song.
Of the song.
So taking the time to to do that was key. It sounds so much cooler.
Several ways before. I took the last train back through down to New York City. Had that other kind of load. That's why I came back when I did. Turns out I had enough of soupy nights and mornings, slowly dying inside, outside trying to keep up. Well, should I get out? The only standing offer was the old.
As far as like the drums go, the second version of Too Soon this week, because we released it on a digitally before, but this it's to me that was one of the first songs I actually learned when I joined the band. So that's always been kind of like a staple tune for me. And a good friend of mine was always like, it's like a lead drum track. You know, there's so much space and so much air that like the drums are kind of the lead. You know, it's kind of it's nice.
I think that Too Soon might actually be the best song on the record. I think that we might not think of it that way because it's so
slow,
old.
we played it for so long.
It's like one of the first songs we ever did.
Yeah,
but I mean that song like came out really good.
It did. Yeah,
it breathes nicely. My favorite part of the entire album is Too Soon. This lush kind of almost a bit of a like really deep kind of country twang. There's some twang going on there. There's a lot of dynamics between loud and soft, wide open. At the end of that song, there's essentially a fuzzed out big muff, dual guitar soaring outro that continues over the top of the beginning of the next song, Lean Back. And that's my favorite kind of moment from a recording standpoint, because the two songs were recorded separately, but we were able to kind of carry one note over the top.
And Lean Back like punches you in the face.
Punches you right in the face.
It just comes right in. And we were even talking about that of like, what makes a single, right? Like how do people digest music? And the idea of releasing that as a single is almost slightly
we were almost there. We were almost there.
Like here you go, bow, and just like throw it in.
Yeah, we absolutely could have.
We would have to have Mike click it in or something, so that something's coming. Because
no, I like songs that just punch in the face like that.
Yeah, there's no click into that song. Yeah. It is one.
Yeah,
and you're there.
Boom.
So outside of that segue, I mean, was there any difficulty in putting together the track listing and the sequencing on the album? Because I know sometimes that's a really difficult task as well for a band, kind of determining the order of things.
I think I ruminated over that for like the whole 2 years, like what the order would be. Because I just feel like, because I really like, listening to music, we all do, but like, where the songs are in the album, like which songs come in next, the album you really like and you're anticipating, like, ooh, like gets real kind of chill. And then the first song on the second side revives. It's like another banger, so it's like thinking about how the listener would approach it. Like, ooh, a lot of albums, the third song is the best songs. You kind of like bury it a little bit.
It's a total lost art.
Yeah,
because I mean, I think when we were growing
Singles,
up, like
they used to put the hit on the first song on the second side, so you had to turn the tape over.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that came into play with once we decided on the cassette and all that.
Oh, that's
something
nice. That's a fun conversation.
Yeah. We are all in our 40s, so we are very cognizant of side 2 of the tape.
But we knew too soon into Lean Back was always going to be a thing. So I think we started there. No matter where that fell, that had to happen. And then we had this exact conversation about song 3 on the had to be a good one, track 3 or whatever on the side A. And I think ultimately when we finally landed at this configuration, we were all just like, oh yeah, this is it.
I think that Clearhead is a really good first side B song.
Yes.
And Where I Want You, the way that guitar line kicks off.
Oh yeah.
It's there's like to me that's no brainer, like first song on an album. Like it gets you right in.
I still love like playing the album when that song kicks in. There's a sense of anticipation with that guitar riff, because it's you're hanging on to it for a second, and I friggin' love that so much.
Does the track order on the album influence how you play it live?
It's hard not to play it in that order, I think, just because it's like a natural feeling of a progression. But obviously we're like, no, we can't do that. We do it live.
What's cool, and actually I was pretty psyched about this. For Porch Fest, we had an hour. Like normally our set, and you know how it is. Like these days, you're playing O'Brien's or wherever you're playing, you're maybe 35 minutes. If you play 40 minutes, you kind of have a jerk, Primarily, not just for the other bands, but really, like, the audience doesn't need more than 35 minutes of anything, right? But for Porch Fest, which is, is a different kind of vibe, different kind of type of gathering, we had an hour. And we've never, even considered playing for an hour before. So we had to put together an hour-long set. And so we played the entire album plus 4 new tracks, plus that, that DMT K-hole, outro that I described earlier on. And it came out to 57 minutes. And the thing that was really cool about that was people were coming over the fence essentially to join us at Porch Fest. The crowd started off like probably 40 or 50 people. And by the time we were done, they were all the way back down the driveway and out to the sidewalk. There were people in the wine and cheese cast there on Washington Street and Beacon Street who were like coming around the corner, not even on the property, and like listening in. And so that's pretty cool.
That's a nice feeling.
It was
Walking
so
in with
cool.
their casks, just carrying them on their backs. giant cheese wheels.
Yes.
Because the thing is, we've all been on the other side of that, right?
Yeah.
We've all been like playing, and you kind of notice people just kind of getting a little further back,
Yeah.
or like you start to see the backs of people as they like go to the bar, and you're like, all right,
I mean, Neil had to ask people to move forward so we can fit more people into the driveway. It was such a nice feeling.
Well, he pulled like the 1992 hardcore thing, like everyone take 10 steps forward, in his like best Henry Rollins voice, and they did. And some of these people were like 70 years old. There was a few folks. Yeah, your folks. Yeah, your mom was there. The CFO for my company was there.
Really?
For a show. He moved here from Switzerland, and he was so pumped.
Oh wow.
show them how we do.
It was
Yeah,
magical.
yeah, that's
We were
right.
playing under this huge, like, old oak tree, right? It was an oak
Yeah,
tree?
sure, yeah.
Sure. Elm
not?
tree? I don't know. Some big fucking
Big
tree.
one.
And, like, yeah, like, my daughter was there, and she was like stoked to. She likes watching her old man play and do his thing. And your daughter was there, right, Andrew? And like she was having a great time, and she was playing drums after. It was just like such an awesome.
Well,
time.
that's what's cool about stuff like Porch Fest, right? Because like whenever we're playing, it's usually a 21 plus room. I mean, we're in Boston, we're in New England, so obviously there's rules to everything.
Yeah,
And,
Puritans.
You can't rock out with your family there or with other people. And things like Porch Fest, it's almost like you're almost playing to like an entirely different crowd. A different demographic.
And you're playing
of
to people who aren't even there yet.
Did you invite everyone to the record release party June 17th at O'Brien's Pub in Allston?
617.
617. I like that.
Boston Day.
Boston Day, Kevin.
617, June 17th, O'Brien's Pub in Allston. Our friend here, Mike Morotta, is going to DJ at least a 45-minute long set. We'll be joined also by Obliterati, which is Keith Pierce and Johnny Northrup from Party Boys. They have a new project. And then Us Lights, who were the first publicist Mike Morotta client ever.
First client.
Coming off the bench, first live show since the pandemic to set us up. So we're pumped. If you haven't listened to Us Lights, you have to.
How'd the lineup come together? I mean, obviously we're all friends.
Yeah.
And this, and what's cool too is like, I'm such an old man and I'm such an old bastard. And like, I never want to do anything anymore. Like I'm really struggling with like, I just
Going out?
don't want to be anywhere. Yeah. I don't want to go
FOMO.
out. I don't want to do anything.
I don't
Like,
accept that.
It's reverse FOMO. Like there's no fear whatsoever. Well, like 'cause the
No
thing is,
fear
like,
of missing
I mean,
out on
like,
everything.
like I've had good times, like I wasn't cheated in terms of like going out and partying and all of that other stuff. And so I was kind of like, I was kind of dragging ass a little bit. And then you told me the lineup and I was like, oh fuck, I got to go to that. Like
That's what it is.
Not only do I have to go to that. All right, now I'm honored to be on the bill. Like it's just it's like all in the family type of release party.
But it's a little bit of different. Everything's a bit different. So I think you're set. You mentioned you'll be doing a yacht rock
That's the plan.
block. So imagine that you go to O'Brien's in Allston, where people the Jim Beam flows like wine, as does the Miller High Life, and you're listening to fucking Seals and Croft. I mean, that's gonna be outstanding.
Sounds pretty good.
You just haven't lived through the summer until you're rocking out to Summer's Breeze.
It's going to be a great night.
Exactly. Johnny and Keith, I've seen their stuff, Obliterati, and it's essentially like
Yeah, what is it?
it's a two-man. They exchange songs. They go back and forth. They have drums, they have guitar, maybe bass, maybe a few other instruments. So they're just kind of like just 35 minutes of frenetic songs back and forth in two very, very different voices. Keith is
If you're going to be named after a Mission of Burma album, you have to kind of bring something sonic to the table, I would imagine.
No, they essentially, Keith has a garage in his house in Quincy, and there's a steady supply of psilocybin mushrooms there, and Johnny is there most days. So I think that's where a lot of the stuff's coming from. So it should be a lot of fun. Us Lights, if you've never heard them, they compare very favorably to like Muse, earlier Radiohead. They're just so luscious and so slick. Like everything about them is totally pro.
They shimmer.
They shimmer. in a
They
different
shimmer
way.
too.
They are also a shimmering force.
There's going to be a lot of shimmering
more shimmery?
forces.
It's going to be some babies made this night, I think.
Well, no, the record release party going down June 17th at O'Brien's Pub, featuring Bird Language, releasing 625 days. Congratulations on the album. Thank you for inviting me to DJ at your record release party. It's
Thank you for all
Looking
your
forward
help.
to it.
We cannot wait. We're so pumped.
it's going to be a good time. What do you say to the people? Because I would imagine this will probably see the light of day before the record release party. The album is out now. Stream the album, buy the cassette. I like to say stream it on Spotify, buy it on Bandcamp. It's a language that I like to present to people. But what do you tell the masses about the album coming out, the album that is out, and the record release party coming up?
I would say just come and come bring good vibes and buy our stuff and tell us that we sounded good and make us feel better about ourselves. No, it should be a great night. I mean, it's been like 2.5 years since we played there, and now we have something in tow that we can be proud of, and hopefully people buy them, and the resurgence of tapes will begin.
Is it gonna feel like a release? Because we were talking record release party, but this is given the amount of time and the effort and the investment and the emotional labor that went into this record, and I saw it when you guys played the Rockwell. Like, you came out on stage and then you just like exploded into your first song, and you can literally feel the like tension lift, in the room, and I can only imagine that like same kind of vibe is going to happen June 17th at O'Brien's.
Yeah, we are now in a place where we're able to kind of execute like our vision, because now we have a vision. Now we have an identity. We have the staff, and we have the gear. We have the pro chops. We have transportation. It's all there. It's kind of automatic. So if you come to the show on the 17th, it's gonna be basically a rock and roll extravaganza.
Right on, dudes. Cool. Well, I will see you there.
See you later.
Right on. See ya.
Think back to all we said and done. I know it doesn't look like much. What all happened in a flash? It all started fading fast. So it goes like this. I'd personally like to apologize this time. We always wanna fall down on the right side of life. Speak up, the only chance you have to say everything you mean. Escape the fence was way too low, so now I dream about your destiny. Softly fall asleep. I'd personally like to apologize this time. We always wanna fall down on the right side of life. Leave the cage and come back in a day. The second time's more than what we hoped that you would do. Open space, you can live out your days. Then it was extreme. We were on the same team. To quickly fall down, to greatly rise up. I'd personally like to apologize this time. We always wanna fall down on the right side of life.
Voice is recorded at Voice Motel, voicemotel.com, your complete podcast recording experience. Located in Union Square, Somerville, Massachusetts.